All right, we are back live at Impact. I am Les Alex, your commentary team. We have John C. on Niv to Light and Jake S. on Sultai Beans. As always, Jake bringing the spice here to Impact. Both of these players are 3-0 in today's RCQ. John going to take one to cast Sylvan Caryatid. Instep, we are going to cast the instant version of Pick Clock Prankster. I think that was a Bitter Triumph. Some of those foils get real dark. It's hard to see. Hang on one sec. I gotta go make sure they're keeping up to date on this life pad. Alrighty, we got it. Unmoored Ego. What are you naming against this deck? You have no idea what you're playing against. Alright, well, we're going to get a good look at Jake's hand. Two Fatal Pushes, a Bitter Triumph, Shieldred, Murderous Cut, and a Stormwing Entity. Treasure Cruise is going to be the card that we're picking. And a pass back. And John going to write these down real quick. Jake always bringing the spice, though, with these really cool. Whether it's modern or Pioneer, doesn't matter. Botanical Sanctum, tapped. Okia. Down to 17, go. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. If you're watching live, thank you so much. We've got 2 more rounds of Swiss and then 3 elimination rounds. And if you're watching after the fact on YouTube, make sure go follow us on Twitch. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. So excited to be able to host these RCQs. We got 38 players today. So very nice little turnout here for our very first one here at Impact. Bring to Light. So here we go. The namesake of the deck. What are we going to get here, John? What are we going to get? Probably Niv. The namesake of the deck. Alrighty, so Niv doing Niv things. Taps 2 for Bitter Triumph. Pitching Fatal Push. Seems like an upgrade. Nice little 2-for-1, though. There's Stormwing Entity. Gonna scry 2. Poke you for 1, down to 16. But John was able to fill up his hand. And here's the 3/3 that fights the Stormwing entity. Tolsamir. Forgot the name. Tolsamir. Friend of Wolves. Man, John keeps his deck way over to the side. I zoom all the way out. I can't even see it. Picklock Prankster. Gonna bash after Shieldred was deployed. Down to 15. That's what I thought for John. Shieldred gonna hit the bin. And down to 15 goes Jake. Fable the Mirror Breaker. There's a Ledger Shredder. Jake gonna convene. And this is a Thoughtseize. Take Bring to Light. And we're poking again with the Picklock. All right, John. Gonna discard any cards? No. Lightning Helix. Take down the Shredder. Up to 17. John goes. And speaking of beans, it is a magical fruit, they say. Here's a Murderous Cut, gonna take down Tolsamir. Exiling a plethora of cards from his graveyard to do so. The Wolf bashes. Jake blocks with his 1/4. Attack for 1. And a back and forth. Can one of these players break parity? We're gonna flip into Reflections of Kiki Jiki. It does not have haste though, so that is kind of important. Block again. Make a treasure. And we're doing something. I haven't seen what's in John's hand basically all game. Is this another Bring to Light? Oh, this is a Yorion. Gonna blink these two, so reset. Sylvan Carotid and Fable the Mirror Breaker. Gonna get a token in. Not sure what's in Jake's hand. Got a lot of mana. And Jake gonna call it. Game 1 goes to John, and the power of Niv to Light. Flexing its muscles. And that'll be game number 1. Unfortunately, I do not have John's deck list. We were trying to get this round turned over as quick as possible. And wanted to bring you folks the action and obviously have this go off without a hitch, so to speak. But I do have Jake's. So let's take a look. We have 4 ledgers. Let's take a look at the sideboard. 2 Duress, 3 Pick Your Poison, 3 Stubborn Denial. Those are likely coming in. 2 Damping Spheres, 1 Ashiok Dream Render, 2 Blot Out. Those will probably come in. And 2 Go Blank. I could make arguments for Stubborn Denial, Blot Out, and Go Blank. Those cards seem pretty decent to me in this matchup. Let's see if Jake shows us anything. Murder's Cut, doesn't like. Get it out of here. Eat it out of the deck. Just kidding, we love that card. Just kidding, we love that card. On the other side, John's not showed us anything all this whole time. The glare, I can't really see what he's doing. But what I do know is John is up a game. Niv Delight, Sultai Beans, Jake's concoction here. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us today. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, again, like, comment, subscribe. We post live Paper Magic content every single week. We're going to start posting Commander content. Obviously, this is Pioneer. We have a ton of Modern content. We stream our FNM, our Modern FNM every single Friday and then upload the VODs to YouTube. So that sounds like content that you would like to watch or passively listen to while you fall asleep. Make sure to head over there, subscribe, comment decks that you want to see. We are very accommodating. If it isn't in the room, I will definitely put it on camera. But yeah, thanks to everybody again for hanging out. If you're watching live, got 2 more rounds of Swiss and then 3 elimination rounds. So it's gonna be a good day. It has been a good day. And if you're in the St. Louis area, we are about 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis. You can come on up for our Modern Horizons 3 pre-release. 1 just fired, but we have another one today at 5, and then 2 on Sunday. Both start at 1, Two-Headed Giant and Traditional. So it's going to be a lot of fun here between the RCQ and all of the pre-releases. A lot of Magic to be played. So much Magic, so little time. Jake always has a nice banter, whether he knows the player or not. All right, let's zoom in a bit. I like to get in as much as possible. And again, this is a 1K, so $1,000 on the line. Top 8 get paid out. Of course, promos, the Goblin Guide. All right, let's see what these guys keep. Jake always friendly to the camera. It's like a, and Jake's gonna mulligan and John's gonna mulligan. Both players on a mulligan. Seems fair. Seems fair at least. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. Looks like we got 17 viewers live on Twitch right now. That's awesome. We appreciate you all. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to follow. We bring live Paper Magic every single week. We stream our Friday FNMs, as I just said. It is Modern, but if you guys want to see more Pioneer, let us know. let us know in either the stream chat or in the YouTube comments. I'm a big Pioneer fan. I like it a lot. And with Modern rotating, who knows what's going to happen with Modern Horizons 3 being introduced. Some decks will rise, some decks will fall. I thought Standard was the only rotating format in Magic. All right, both players keeping 6. We will sleight of hand. Didn't quite see what Jake grabbed there. John gonna play Sun Petal Grove and pass back. That's an opt. Doesn't know whether he wants to cast whatever it is he wants to cast or not. All right. Shotgun down to 18. Sylvan Caryatid. There's an opt. I've seen that face before, Jake. He's... What the heck? Guess I'll cast this. There is Thoughtseize. Deadly... Holy smokes, he's got it. And all of these. Leyline Binding, Deadly Cover-Up, Lightning Helix, Beans, and a land. What in the world do you take here? I do not envy Jake. This is a rough decision. He's going to take the Lightning Helix. Makes sense, I suppose. Down to 18. Here's a Stormwing Entity. Are those two Thoughtseizes? He likes one, he doesn't like the other? Fair enough. Plays land for the turn. There's a kill spell. And the bean. Give him the beans. Thoughtseize. Target you. Down at 16 goes Jake. Gonna take the most powerful card in your hand. Go blank. Make you exile those 2 cards. That's a pretty good way to get rid of your opponent's graveyard, I suppose. And the remaining cards in his hand. Another beans. Sheesh. Only good draws here from John from here on out. And a pass back. So can't find that land drop. Jake gonna play Treasure Cruise. Hey, one good draw deserves another good draw. Yeah, I've been in John's seat too here. Like, yeah, draw 3 cards. It's pretty good. Jake's all smiles now. Probably looking for green mana. Stormwing Entity. To the top 2, put one there, put one there. Yep. Assuming, I think that was a land. He has green mana. Yorion to hand. Go. Be able to blink these beans. Stormwing Entity attacking in. Down to 15 goes John. And Shieldred. A good one, so John will go down to 13 off the Shieldred trigger. Not too shabby. Here is a Stubborn Denial. Hey, what'd I say? I knew it was coming in, obviously. No Fable the Mirror Breaker for you, John. I am sorry. Down to 6 goes John. Down to 4 goes John off the trigger. And we are going to game number 3. Excellent. You love to see it. Game 3 in Tournament Magic for coverage is excellent. The stakes are high here. John going to be on the play. Hopefully we have a nice game where both players have 7 strong hands and both players play tight. Thanks everyone though for hanging out with us here at Impact. I am Les Alex. I make content on YouTube, so if you enjoy Magic the Gathering content, hit me up. Just search on YouTube Les Alex. I'll pop up. But thanks everybody for hanging out with us here at Impact. Like I said, make sure to follow us if you're watching live, and if you're watching after the fact on YouTube, go like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're watching live, head on over to YouTube, subscribe, and vice versa. We do appreciate you. We've got 2 more rounds until our elimination rounds. Of course, we have a top 8. Players will be playing for $1,000 cash. The invite, some really sweet Goblin Guide promos. A lot to play for here. A lot to play for. A lot is on the line here because I do believe whichever player wins this game, and I'm not a tournament math guru by any means, but I do believe whichever player wins here will be able to double draw into top 8. So this is a pivotal game 3. Let's kick it back down. Neither player is sideboarding here going into game 3. We're just going straight into it. But we've got John C on Niv Delight, game 1. Jake S on Sultai Beans, the spiciness. So who can take it down? John's on the play. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun match. Hopefully, like I said, both players have excellent hands. And we get a game, you know? Nothing worse than seeing coverage games. Just somebody mulligans like 4 or 5 and just doesn't do much. Like in round 1. That was rough. That was rough to watch. Ended in like 10 minutes, maybe. Maybe 15. Alrighty, here we go. John is on the play, I presume. Alright, here we go, yeah. Alright, Jake shaking his head, looking pretty good. John shaking his head, looking pretty good. Alright, here we go, off to the races. Triumph, go. That was an opt. We are going to sleight of hand. I thought it was going to be a Thoughtseize. So down to 18 goes Jake. Can't quite see what Jake has in his hand. Certainly can't make out what John has. Hallowed Fountain tapped, go. So Jake has a chance to put a creature on the board and start doing stuff. No Ledger Shredder though. Pass back to John. John kind of playing the role of the control deck as he plays Fable the Mirror Breaker here. Going to get himself a Goblin Shaman. And we're going to Picklock Prankster. Petty Theft, I believe, is the name of the instant. And he'll get a Thoughtseize. That's pretty good here. And John already ready. He's like, yeah, I know it's coming. Gonna shock in here down to 16. Here's a Ledger Shredder. Down to 14. Connive. Okay. Oh my gosh. This hand's loaded. It seems like every time I see this hand. I mean, do you take the beans here? Do you take Deafening Silence? I guess that doesn't do a whole lot. Casualties is terrifying, but we will take the Astral Cornucopia. I was getting to it. And then, of course, Bring to Light. Alrighty. So this Goblin Shaman gonna have to do some work unless John starts drawing some lands. Obviously, he gets to discard 2 cards here if he so chooses. Let's see. Looks like that's what he's doing. Deafening Clarion and Casualties of War. Yeah, it makes sense. Can't even kill either of Jake's creatures right now with that Deafening Clarion. He will play a Tricycle land. Give him the beans. Draw a card. Jake takes his draw step. Jake always tapping and untapping lands. Is it an opt? Yep, opt. Or no, this is... Oh, what that was. Huh? Zoom out. Oh, yeah. This and a duress. So 2 Bring the Lights, Kitria Triumph, and is that Khaled or I forget the name of that card. Well, I can zoom in and see. Lothis. Yeah, that card can be a problem. He's gonna take one of the Nivs, or one of the, excuse me, Bring the Lights. Gonna attack for 4. Or I'm sorry, 2 rather. 3 rather. Jeez. He connived this turn. I'm just a mess right now, guys. I apologize. And here's a Tassiger. This could get pretty fun. And now we are flipping into Reflections of Kiki Jiki. Thankfully for Jake, John not able to attack, really. Not have any good attack with his Goblin Shaman to be able to make tokens. John flicking through his card, and as I say that, he's just going to attack to get the mana. Yeah, I mean, you got to do it if you want to start to get things rolling here if you're John. Because here is Bring to Light. That'll convene. Oh no, it won't, because it's his first spell. Yeah. The Goblin Shaman flipping into Reflections is not a spell casted. So he's just gonna get a Niv here, I would imagine. Does Jake have a removal spell? That's the question. If he has a removal spell, things get a little bit trickier for John. If John just has a Niv in play, you know. There is Niv. That's going to trigger Beans. It's going to trigger Connive. Discard Botanical Sanctum. Didn't see what Jake drew, unfortunately. And now, Jake gonna cut, and we're gonna get to look at a bunch of cards. Wow, kind of a whiff here for John. Is that a complete whiff? Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I don't know if I've ever seen that. A whiff? Like 100% whiff? On a Niv Mizzet trigger? Holy smokes. That's why you build the whole deck. It's because he gets you a bunch of cards. Not today. That was brutal. That was brutal. opt. Or, I guess it's consider. Does Jake have a removal spell for this Niv? Or for the Goblin? Boseiju. 4 mana. Is it Shieldred? Just kidding. Takes it backs. Don't Dixie backsies. Just a pass of the turn. Alright. Reflections of Kiki Jiki is unleashed now. There's a Clothis. Jake shakes his head, says yes. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So John needs one more red or green pip, and Clothis will be a creature. That's what's scary here. We're gonna activate Tasigur. One of these cards at random is gonna go back to Jake's hand. Oh, no, not at random. Actually, John, I'm sorry, John gets to pick. That's right. John gets to pick. He's going to pick Sleight of Hand. Jake draws. Sleight of Hand. That doesn't look like a good look from... There's an Ashiok and a Stubborn Denial. Well, take the Stubborn Denial. Ashiok pretty good, though. Obviously, the Niv Delight already did the light thing, so not as great when you're staring down a Niv. Down to 12 goes Jake. What do we got? Shieldred. Connive. What are we discarding? I'll zoom out a little bit because Stormwing Entity. Stormwing Entity, the card that, and here we go. The Bean's gonna trigger. Down to 15 goes John. Yeah. John's in a pretty good spot here. I do believe. Even though he whiffed off the Niv. So he'll tag the go blank and drain Jake for 2. Or rather deal 2 damage to Jake. It doesn't matter, I guess, in some scenarios. Kiki Jiki. Now, Fable the Mirror Breaker going to enter the battlefield. She's going to make a Goblin Shaman. Clothis is online. That's terrifying. I got 5 words for you. Clothis is online. Alright, game 3 here. Round 4. Winner is likely able to double draw in. Watery Grave tapped, go. Pick your poison. Sacrifice a flying creature, I'm assuming is what we're doing here. The mode we're choosing. Clothis no longer a creature. That's pretty huge for Jake. Cast Picklock Prankster Connive. Pitch. An island. Sacrilege. Attack with the boys. Gonna make a token. Gonna block there. Down to 13 goes John. Stubborn Denial still in Jake's hand. Keep that in mind. Clothis trigger, though. This Clothis trigger is gonna... Stormwing Entity. Down to 8, up to 15. John mulling over the idea of potentially discarding maybe and drawing, but we'll block. Make a gold treasure token. That's getting countered. There's no way that Bring to Light is resolving. Unless John has a counter spell. Is he gonna let this happen? Oh wow. Beans is gonna have, he's gonna draw a card. Got a big old ledger shredder. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is quite the game here. I mean, Jake needs to find a removal spell for this. Cheeky Jeeky. Temple Garden tapped. End of the turn, we're going to Murderous Cut, and he found it. Oh boy. That's huge, because now there's not going to be a blocker for Tasigur. That's actually huge. And a Leyline Binding going to come in. All right, love the back and forth play. This is what I love about game threes here, whenever both players are rocking and rolling. What are we hitting here, though, John? Tasigur or the bird? It'll be the bird. Leyline Binding, messed up card. Don't know what Jake drew there. Was that a Stormwing Entity? I don't know. Attack. Down to 10. Jake tapping his mana and untapping it like he does. Stormwing Entity. Both lands, I believe. Yeah, we'll bottom both those. Pass back. Does Jake have another counterspell? That's what I want to know. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I'm going to exile the bird. Gains 2. Drains 2. And this Clothis just kind of does its thing, and if the game goes long enough, it just kills you. That's what that card does. Plays Forest. John been drawing a lot of lands here in the later half of this game. All right. Looks like we have a play, though. Yorion, trigger the beans. We're gonna blink beans and the Kiki Jiki. Oh, and the ley line binding. Makes sense. And these things are going to re-enter the battlefield. Gonna binding Tassiger. Make another shaman. Draw a card. John doing all the things. All right. Jake taking a draw step. Plays a Shieldred. That's something. That is two. Leyline binding. So, down to 10 goes John off the draw from the beans. Jake has one card in hand, and I don't know what it is. It is apparently not that great. Omnath? No? Lightning Helix. Take that. I'm gonna gain 3. What do we... I think John might have forgot his Clothis trigger. $17. Yeah, this one is, the wheels are falling off for Jake. Jake not one to scoop, especially when the stakes are this high. Makes sense. And here's a Niv, or a Bring to Light. Sorry, I keep calling it Niv to Light because that's what you do. Beans, draw a card. Niv, Bring to Light, good. That's a Valky. And that is a concession from Jake. Good sportsmanship. Both players going to shake hands there. John C. taking it down with Niv to Light over Jake S. on Sultai. Baines brought out the spice. Both players are still live for top 8. John, however, probably going to be able to double draw into top 8. So shout out to John. And Jake, we might see him later in the elimination rounds. We shall see. But thanks everybody for hanging out with us. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to smash the like and subscribe button. Comment down below what you think about the content. If you want to see certain decks and you're watching live, we've got 2 more rounds of Swiss and then 3 rounds of top 8. I'm Les Alex. I make content on YouTube as well. You can subscribe to me. That'd be really dope. I make Magic the Gathering content, so go do that. And we will see you on the other side of this break. We're real close to turning this round over, so we will see you real soon.